All right, mindful nerd moment. So I was thinking, this is one where you'll get to choose your own character because I felt weird, narrowing in on one specific X-Men teenager because
Yeah.
there's so many great stories. Um, But I I liked the idea of using mindfulness because okay, so you're an awkward teenager, you're going through all the stuff, you're in the normal high school, but you're also dealing with all your mutant stuff. And so I liked the idea of us trying to use mindfulness when your powers go on the fritz while you're at school. Because a lot of times those freak out moments that we can have can actually then cycle into things getting worse. And so
Hmm.
mindfulness is really great for instead of it spiraling into getting, the powers getting more and more intense, hopefully helping to level it out.
Hmm.
So, like uh Nightcrawler, his hologram the watch thing fritzes out and he's blue with a tail, or Spike ends up spiking something somewhere, or there's a scene where Scott his glasses come off and he, whoops, something exploded. So yeah, it's a pick your own adventure. So who would you like to be?
Man, that's tough. I think that given who we talked about with I think I'm gonna go with Scott just because
Okay.
I feel like that's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah. He's so great. He's so great. Um, so yeah, I want once again, so what we'll do is picture your glasses are getting knocked off. So your powers, they end up fritzing, and then you're in school, you're trying to keep these things hidden, you're trying to blend in, but stuff happens. Okay. So we will sit straight but comfortably. You can close your eyes or just not focus on anything in particular in the room. And I want you to focus on what it feels like to breathe in and out. And you don't have to worry about breathing in any specific kind of way. There's no right or wrong way. Just breathe normally, noticing what it feels like as the breath comes in and as the breath leaves you. And when you're ready, I want you to imagine that you are Scott Summers and you are at Bayville High School. First, I want you to picture where you are when this accident happens. You can picture there was a specific scene where he's under the bleachers and some, gets in a scuffle, a fight, and his sunglasses get knocked off. Or you can think of something else if there's a different scene that you prefer. But figure out where you are in high school. And I want you to just take in your surroundings at first, what you see, what you hear, what you can feel, what you smell or taste. School, so it might not be the most pleasant smell depending on where you are, but taking in whatever you're noticing. And I want you to play out a scene where your sunglasses get knocked off and the beams come out of your eyes and hit something near you. And of course, you shut your eyes as quickly as you can. You've been through this sort of thing before. But in some ways, that almost makes it worse because now you can't see. You don't know where your sunglasses are. There are probably people around and things going on, and your brain is just spinning. You're spinning with what just happened. How bad is this? How am I going to explain this? How do I make sure someone can come and help me? What do I do? And you're desperately feeling around, and everything's chaos. It's dark and it's chaotic, and your eyes are on fire, and the heat's just getting more and more intense, and you're spinning around in circles. You don't know what's going on, and then you just uh, it, you just find this moment of calm, and you say, "Okay, this isn't working. Let me just take a moment." And you just pause. You freeze. You take a deep breath, Things are still swirling. Your eyes are still so hot. But you take another deep breath. Keep thinking about, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Think, okay, I'm having a thought. This is really bad. This isn't great. You know what? Been through worse stuff. We all get through it in the end. Okay, this isn't great, and we'll find a way through this. And so you just take in this moment. Okay, I'm feeling a little panicked. Okay, feeling panic, and then I'm letting it go. My eyes are burning. I notice that, and then I'm letting that go. And so you notice your heart rate's coming down a bit. Your eyes are still hot, but maybe not quite burning so much. And now that your heart rate's come down a bit, you can actually remember what your surroundings were a little bit better. And so you're feeling around, and it's still, of course, dark because your eyes are closed, but you have more of a sense of what you're feeling. Okay, so based on where I am and what I saw before I had to close my eyes, here's what I'm touching, here's what I'm feeling, and things just, they're less chaotic. And oh, what do you know? Here are my sunglasses. You feel them with your hand. You notice the coolness to the touch. It's nice. Since your eyes are on fire, it's nice to feel something cool. You grab them with both hands, and you put them on your face, and you just feel what it's like in your hands, and then putting your sunglasses on your face, how it feels on your temples, and you feel in front of them just in case. Make sure those lenses are exactly where they need to be, and when you're ready, you open your eyes. You see a room. You see redness around you. You take another deep breath. And you go, okay, I'm going to figure out the next step from here. All right, so when you're ready, we got Scott through that. And it might be a little tricky for him, but good news is he knows some people who can change people's memories. So at the end of the day, it'll probably be all right. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and we will wrap up the podcast. So, what do you think of this mindful nerd moment? I'm actually curious. Where were you? What were you doing? Did you do the fight or did you do something else?
What it really made me think about for this one was how much Scott needed this, because
Mm.
later on, there's in another season, Mystique drops him in like a wilderness,
Yes, I love that
and
episode.
he doesn't have his glasses, and he's basically walking around blind, and it's the whole episode is Jean trying to find him and get to him to help him and save him. And it just made me think about, okay, he's going through this
Mm-hmm.
right now. Practicing mindfulness is
Mm-hmm.
one of those things where if you can practice it now in situations, when you're in situations that are possibly even worse or more stressful, you'll remember, and it won't be
Yes.
as detrimental. It won't be as bad, because this is something where, just like riding a bicycle, when you
Mm-hmm.
practice it over and over again, you learn, hey, it is possible to be peaceful in these stressful situations. It
Yes.
is possible to be able to become calm in these rough, brutal situations.
Mm-hmm.
I can overcome it the same way that I've overcame things time and time again through practice. And
Ding,
so,
ding, ding.
yeah,
Absolutely. Couldn't word it better myself. There's this thing. There's this thing about our minds and our bodies where we're like, okay, it should just be able to do stuff. And do it the first time and do it right, because
yeah,
it's the body, it's meant to do whatever. But you know what, bodies aren't perfect.
right,
And the body gets used to whatever its baseline is. So there are just certain things based on your experiences, based on your body chemistry and your genetics, all sorts of stuff comes together, and your body's just going to respond more easily in certain situations than others.
right,
And absolutely. So if you, I like to use the example of an athlete or a musician or a performer of some sort or a runner, anything. You could think of anything where um, if I sit on my couch every day, like often do now. I'm not going to tomorrow do uh, I'm not going to do the Boston Marathon. Or if I did, I would hurt myself
Right.
quite a bit. And I'm not that unhealthy. But we can naturally think like, oh yeah, you might want to practice for that. You might want to work yourself up.
Mhm.
Same sort of thing with mindfulness, same sort of thing with dealing with these kinds of stresses. Like, yeah, in high school somewhere his glasses fall off, he burns something. Good news is he's got Ginger, he's got Professor X. It's probably not going to be that big of a deal in the long run, but it's going to hit probably on some of that stress, that anxiety, that panic and whatnot.
Mhm.
He was a great one too, because then he can't even see, so then that chaos of like being blinded to what might be happening around you, there's a lot that could be going on. And yeah, if we practice things when it doesn't matter, or when it's a situation that's tricky but not seemingly impossible to us, then we can actually do things later that at first might have seemed impossible, but we can get through them because we've practiced
Right.
and we've worked those muscles, those mental muscles, so to speak.
Yeah. So yeah, I really love this one.